So, the T20 World Cup is heating up big time. We're right at the semifinals. But, this isn't just about who can hit the biggest sixes. It's more like a massive, high-stakes chess match. And right at the center of it all is a pretty weird question, actually.
And this is where things get really interesting. You've got New Zealand, who are, on paper, the clear underdogs. And yet, you have India, the tournament favorites, kind of hoping the Kiwis make it through to the final. Sounds backward, right? Why would the top team want to face a specific opponent? Well, the answer is all about strategy, and that is exactly what we are going to unpack here.
Okay, so first things first. Before New Zealand can even dream about a final, they have a huge wall in front of them, a really, really good South African team. So what are their chances, really? Can they pull off an upset?
Well, the numbers kind of tell the story, don't they? The betting markets are giving New Zealand about a 42% chance of winning their semifinal. It's for sure an uphill climb. But we all know T20 cricket is where underdogs live to cause chaos. So the real question is, how are they planning to do it?
And this quote right here gives you a peek right into the mind of their captain, Kane Williamson. He's not thinking about defense. He's thinking attack. The plan is to go after South Africa's world-class pace bowlers from ball one because they believe that attack can crumble under some serious early pressure.
And here's their entire game plan, really boiled down to three main pillars. First, that power play aggression we just talked about. They're aiming for 70-plus runs, going all out. Then, once the power play is over, they'll bring on their master spinners, Santner and Sodhi, to just choke the game in the middle overs. And finally, if they win the toss, you can bet they're going to chase. They want to use that evening dew, which makes gripping the ball harder for bowlers, to their full advantage.
All right, so that's the Kiwi game plan. Now let's flip over to the other side. India. They're the favorites. And you better believe they're not just thinking about their own semifinal against England. Oh no, they're already playing mental chess, thinking about who they'd rather see in that final.
And here's our first big clue, from the man himself, Suryakumar Yadav. He says New Zealand just suits them. Why? Because the conditions are familiar, they help India's amazing spinners. But what worries him? England. Specifically, what he calls power-hitting chaos, which gets even more dangerous on a dewy pitch where the ball just slides onto the bat perfectly for big hitters.
And the captain, Rohit Sharma, is on the exact same page. He looks at New Zealand's pace attack and thinks, you know what? Our deep batting lineup can handle that. We know what's coming. But England brings these unpredictable X factors, guys like Ben Stokes and Harry Brook who can just take a game away from you in a couple of overs. Total game changers. So this really sets up the whole strategic dilemma perfectly, doesn't it? It's a classic choice. Do you want to face the consistent, structured opponent that you know how to play against, or do you roll the dice against a team that's pure, explosive, unpredictable power? This just lays it all out, side by side. On the one hand, you have New Zealand. India sees them as a manageable challenge. The pace attack is familiar, the conditions help India's own game, and hey, they've got a killer 8-3 head-to-head record against them. On the other hand, you've got England. They're just pure chaos. Raw power, individuals who can win a match on their own and who love the exact dewy conditions that could hurt India. It's a calculated choice. India prefers predictability over pure volatility. Okay, so we've heard the strategy from the players, but does the hard data, the money, agree with this? Let's take a look at what the betting markets are saying about who's going to win this whole thing.
And looking at the semifinal odds, the story is pretty straightforward. South Africa is the favorite to beat New Zealand, and India is an even bigger favorite to get past England. So if you believe the odds, we're headed for a South Africa versus India final, which, funnily enough, might not be the matchup India actually wants.
And then you zoom out and look at the odds to win the whole tournament, and wow, the gap is huge. India is the massive favorite to lift that trophy. South Africa is seen as their closest competition, but it's not even that close. This really shows you just how dominant India is and why their strategic preference for an opponent carries so much weight.
So, we've gone through the strategies, we've heard from the players, we've looked at the odds, and it all seems to boil down to this one fundamental clash of styles. Is this tournament going to be won by a team with a perfect plan, playing the percentages, or is it going to be won by a moment of just pure, wild, untamable brilliance? And that really is the final question, isn't it? As we sit down to watch these massive games, we're not just watching cricket, we're watching the answer to this question play out live. In the insane pressure of a World Cup, what actually wins? Is it the perfect, well-rehearsed strategy, or is it that one spark of unpredictable power that no strategy on earth can ever prepare you for? Well, we're all about to find out.